Escape to the Metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew and Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the Metaverse. Better act like you know. Yeah. You are now tuned into the Matthew and Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the Metaverse. Better act like you know. You are now tuned into the Matthew and Rizzle show. Yeah. Escape to the Metaverse. Better act like you know. You are now tuned into the Matthew and Rizzle show. Yeah.
Hey everyone, before we begin this week's episode of the Matthew and Rizzle Show, just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Proof of Beauty. Proof of Beauty is an experimental digital experience studio. The blockchain is their canvas and the tokens are their brush. You can learn more about Proof of Beauty by checking out pob.studio. You can follow them on Twitter as well at PRRF Beauty. That's PRRF Beauty on Twitter and pob.studio on their homepage to learn more about their projects like Hash, London, and Publico. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Okay, David, Jan, really excited to have you on the Matthew and Rizzle show to be talking about MovieShots. Welcome, boys.
GM. Thank you so much for having us.
It's always GM in the metaverse. I love it. Cool. To get started, before we dive into everything you're doing with MovieShots, I'd personally love to hear potted history for both of yourselves. I know you've both have been in the space for quite a minute. There's the crypto wiener associations, but kind of tell us how you fell down the crypto and NFT rabbit holes to begin with, and what led to MovieShots being created in the first place.
Should I start, or you want to start, Jan?
It would be fun if you start.
Okay. Then
let's have it memento style backwards.
That's a good one. I mean, I haven't been too long in the NFT space. I have to admit. I mean, Jan told me for like forever, it seems. He told me about the punks and how cool they are, and I should buy a punk. And I was like, I wasn't quite listening too much, because all Jan was talking was NFTs for quite a long time, and I was and a lot of other things. So I'm self-employed. I have my own film production company, doing mostly commercials and stuff like this for about 7 years now. And but a few months ago, I think it was at the beginning of last year, Jan pitched me his idea of MovieShots, and I was really excited because I know where his Cryptowina project went, and I really liked it, what he was doing, and so I was excited what he could do with MovieShots, but I lost track for quite a bit, and then it developed more and more, and then I asked Jan if I could help. I mean, this was pretty much the thing. I have to think about the first NFT I bought was a Deep Black, because at the point where he introduced me bigger into the project, and I said, okay, I jump on board. He was like, okay, I need to buy an NFT, and I bought an ape of space or something first, like something really ridiculous, just to have a PFP for Twitter. And then I bought Deep Black, and I fell more and more into the rabbit hole. I was listening to a lot of spaces. I was listening to Farrock a lot of the times, and I was getting so excited about the community part of it, and that everybody was so excited about it. And then fell deeper and deeper and deeper, and now we're here.
Great start. Should I continue?
Yeah, take it away, Jan.
Right. Okay. So my name is Jan Leitenbauer. I'm a TV editor, editing news and also editing trailers, where I also pick the music or have some text ideas. And so together with David, I started MMA, Multimedia Arts, which is kind of like a film school, but also a little bit more interdisciplinary. So you work a lot with 3D animation people and audio people and also developers. And now I think it's the perfect time for, having this cooperative interdisciplinary mindset where you work with other niches and all of that. And I always loved film. So when I was young, I collected film DVDs and limited edition DVDs. So I'm a DVD collector, I guess. And of course, I played Magic the Gathering and collected Pokemon when I was young. And it was, I think, 2017, right at the top of the bubble, when I learned what the blockchain is and what Bitcoin is. I heard it first, I think 2014, Bitcoin. And when I first heard it, I thought like, this is the most stupid thing I've ever heard. It was so ridiculous. And that's the most ridiculous thing. That's so bullshit. But then someone explained it to me and it was like, I don't get it. It's really complicated, but it's really interesting. And I think I spent the whole 2018 locked in my shared flat room, only reading, watching Andreas Antonopoulos videos and reading all the Andreas Antonopoulos books, because I completely fell down the rabbit hole, because this piece of technology was just so, I don't know, it's so impressive, and it takes, I think, a long time to actually get like what it can do. Like, it's amazing after 2 weeks, but then if you just keep on learning what this means for society, for technology, more things come up, even just with Bitcoin. And so you get a nerd, and if you're a nerd, you kind of annoy everybody around you. So I was very happy to find people to talk about this nerdy stuff, blockchain. And so, we met in Vienna, the new people that I met in the culture club. And so we drank beers, talked about blockchain, drank beers, talked about blockchain. Once in a while we meet at different places and one would cook. And those regular blockchain meetings is what became Cryptovina in the end. There were like 6 people who were there most of the time. And those 6 people were then basically the founders of Cryptovina. And I was here when Cryptovina was founded. I'm not the creator of Cryptovina. Ross is the creator of Cryptovina, and Ross and Nisla, the both of them, they basically lead the project. And I'm a part of this 6 people culture club that draws Cryptovina and all of that. And the funny thing is that during that time at Cryptovina, that I totally enjoy like making the Venus and having ideas and all of that, I was the one that was quite skeptical about NFTs, while all the others were already totally in, of course, like having punks and moderating the punk channel and all of that. And it took me really, I think, some months or years to really see this revolution that NFTs is bringing. And I think I'm now completely turned into a degen since a year or so. And yeah, so in that time, I learned a lot about NFTs. And also, I think Gary Vee used other kind of descriptions, how to describe this innovation. I mean, even if you understand blockchain, it's not just that, it's this whole new cultural and social thing. And actually, like, having an NFT, this is where you learn a lot. Like, what does this to your own psychology? How does it feel to own an NFT? And I don't know. It's an experience I don't have with physical things I own. It's a very, very fascinating mix of technology and culture and art and all of that, and community, of course.
Well said. Now you can imagine for a noob like me, being 6 months in and having Jan talk about blockchain and stuff like this since 2017. Now, it was hard to keep track for me.
There was this moment when David was on the edge, and I knew, like, if I give him a little push, he will get sucked into the NFT rabbit hole. And I just bought a meta key and gifted it to him. And then he fell into the rabbit hole.
Yeah, that was also true. You gifted me the meta key. Yeah, also that one was really, really big for me. Mm-hmm.
Yo, what great stories from both of you. Also, how you just needed to give David a push. I feel like we all can relate to having that person in our lives. And big shout out to Crypto Wieners, man. What a cool OG project to be associated with. I remember when they came onto the scene and was just like, wow, this team is so weird. I love what they're doing, and I love how they're laughing at themselves, but putting out cool, interesting things. And in a roundabout way, I think we ended up doing a couple things with Crypto Wieners here and there over the years, but it's really cool. The concept behind MovieShots is really, really interesting. And I know you guys presented at the WIP, and there's always so much going on at the WIP that I can never really focus as much as I would like to, but I would love to hear the story about conceptually how you came up with this, what you're trying to do with it. It's a really interesting project.
Yeah. So first, for Crypto Wiener, yes, the team is amazing. And if one of you happens to be in Vienna, Austria, make sure to contact us and hang out with us, because it's really fun with the team. So MovieShots. So in Austria, we have this thing called Bildungskarenz. It's amazing. You just take 1 year off from work, and you still get a bit of your salary, and you just can educate yourself on whatever you want to. And I did that in order to move from TV to documentaries. So I wanted to go to documentaries and also edit fiction, which is quite hard in Austria, to be honest, to be working in the film industry. And in order to do that, one of my courses was the Avid course. So Avid is the main editing software used in Hollywood. And at TV, I usually use Adobe Premiere. So I took an Avid course, learning Avid, and a good friend of mine, who's also a friend of David, Daniel Lim, a filmmaker, he was shooting stuff just to not be in the lockdown, I guess. Just to keep making movies, keep making art and all that. And so I could use that footage just to try this editing software, learning Avid. And at the same time, I think it was in January or February, the same time NFTs kind of exploded. So it was me editing, learning Avid, but then also NFTs becoming quite even more interesting than the last couple of months. And I think I took a break from editing, just went to the park, went for a walk or so. And then I had this thought in my head, this idea, what if with each edit you make, with each new camera shot, you pick one still, you hand pick one still, it's just like a piece of art, and it will represent the camera shot. It would represent this part of the movie. And you could do it with the whole movie. Then you would end up with a collection of about 1,000 to 2,000 one-of-one NFTs, and basically have this collection, kind of like a digital twin on the blockchain, capturing the, I'd say, cultural value or artistic value of the thing. That's what we're trying to do. And then when I watched the movie and I imagined that something happens, somebody says something, or even if it's unimportant, if it just turns around and goes to the next scene, I was like, if I could own that, I would be the only one owning that moment. That would be so awesome. And basically, I'm just obsessed with MovieShots, and I have to build it, I guess, to have them and create them. So it was like a click moment, and since then it never left my head. This is a year now, I think. I'm haunted by MovieShots since a year, and then all of a sudden, these awesome people around me just showed up. The most awesome people showed up and helped me building this. It was I was really, really lucky with building this. Of course, the first thing I did was asking the Crypto Wiener team, because I thought this would be super easy. Just some JPEGs on the blockchain. Let's do it. And then Ross told me you don't know, this will be quite big. This will be very time consuming. And then I realized, okay, I had to build my own team. And so I did. And since then it gains quite some momentum. We have a license deal with Beta Film GmbH, one of the biggest licensing companies there are. and have made a license deal for some movies. And the first one is Tom Tykwer's Run Lola Run, which I think is an absolute masterpiece. It's about Lola, who has to save her boyfriend because he lost money on a drug deal. And so she has to run. She has 20 minutes. She has 20 minutes to get 100,000 Deutsche Mark, which is about 19 ETH. She has to run 20 minutes. And here's the thing, like after 20 minutes, the story ends. And then we see another version of it, like kind of like butterfly effect. Like what could have happened if she made other choices, and how would the story then play out? But the plot, it takes time in just 20 minutes, and you see different versions of it. And then they have this very interesting thing where Lola, she would like hit into just a passenger, just like a random woman on the street. And then you would see, and I think what in the movie is like maybe, I don't know, 5 seconds or so, you would see in flash cuts, like 2-3 frames, like flash cuts, photography cuts, you would see a story played out. What happens to the character who's not part of the story, the passenger, afterwards? Like what happens after Lola just hit her while running? And every time, of course, the lives of the others completely change. And in the movie, this is a story gets told in 3 seconds that you do not realize what is told because it's too much. Your brain is just flashed with like flash cuts. And now with MovieShots, it's very interesting because like our rule is like from one hard cut to the next hard cut. So this is a new NFT. This is a new piece of art. It's a new like brush stroke of the whole composition. And then now Run Lola Run is so interesting because now you can really like calmly see how those stories play out, and they are quite interesting. And of course, like MovieShots is, of course, I think a very good example of if a movie has visual storytelling. You know, like nowadays most movies are more like dialogue based or so, also the comedies, but if a movie works in MovieShots, if the story gets told also in the frames that you have, like it looks kind of like a comic, right, or a storyboard. I think this is a very interesting way to approach the art of filmmaking, and it's also a very interesting way to honor the piece of art because we basically deconstruct the piece of art into its unique parts. And not only does it show the iconic piece of the DOP, of the director of photography, but it shows so much more. It shows what emotions the director could get out of the actors, what the production designer did to that specific location. Everything. I mean, this will all be a part of the movie shot, and so it's important for us to capture this different art forms that all come together when you're making a movie. I mean, this is crazy. What different people from all the different sectors work to create the vision that the director has in mind. That's something that fascinates me every time I do something scenic. I would say a short movie or so. Never did a feature because of funding problems.
So let me just jump in real quick just to make sure I'm understanding everything. So what will actually be tokenized from this movie, this example of Run Lola Run, would be each scene between cuts, right? And is every single scene?
So every segment from one cut to the next. So but we only count hard cuts. Like when the like for example when you go from a wide shot to a close up, then there's most of the time there's a hard cut between them. Sometimes there's a transition, what we do is we take them together, and it's one movie shot, but the whole segment kind of is represented by one specifically hand-picked still out of the segment. And the other thing is it will have metadata in it, like the scenic properties, like exterior, street, day, rain, whatsoever, the actors, as well as their costumes or props, specific props that are in the representative still. Only that ones that are seen in the still, I have to say, not in the whole segment.
Film loot. We call it movie loot.
Yeah, it's the movie loot. So and additionally, what we will do is we will, for example, can I tell that, Jan? Yeah, I think so. I can tell it with the hair, for example.
Yeah. Let's give some alpha here. Let's
okay.
With the hair.
So for example, every movie shot owner that owns a shot where Lola is in it will get Lola's hair as a decentralized variable.
If her hair is seen, only if
her hair is seen, yeah. For example,
people with the property makeup and hair, wild red hair or dyed red hair, I think.
Dyed red hair, yeah. Mm.
So we really take every shot. We don't cherry pick. We don't judge like this part of the movie's art and this is not. We don't do that. No, the whole movie gets there. So we don't censor unless, of course, the licensor like has some issue with, I don't know, nude person or so. But with Run Lola Run, there were no wishes to censor anything. So everything will get on the blockchain. And also every NFT will have like at the frame this time code and for how many seconds. So each NFT like points to a particular time point and in a particular time length. And with the time length, maybe we should talk later also about the screen time. Because screen time, you will be able to vote. It will be a community vote with the screen time. And let me say this thing. So we're building a software where every single shot, and it's 1,398 for Run Lola Run, will be manually tagged. So manually, a person will choose which items will be the property metadata, and this and it will be done by a professional filmmaker who is a set dresser.
Yeah, but set dresser, production designer. I mean, he really did big sets. He's an amazing guy. He's called Radoslav Stoyanov, and he's been working in the film industry for I don't know how long, I think over 20 years, and he worked on sets like Hitman, or built most of the sets for the British comedy series Plebs, and he really been in the big thing of the business. That's where we always wanted to go, and he's really keen on detail. I've never met the person that's so keen on detail.
If we won't give him any limits, and we have to, then there will be 100 properties per shot.
Yeah. And also, I mean, one last thing. I mean, this here is for one example that we give to the community what you could do out of this metadata, but there are endless possibilities, and everybody can take this data as it works in Web 3.0, and I could imagine that with more and more movies to come, amazing props, items can be taken into other worlds. That's
it would be a great Valentine's gift to gift a kiss. Imagine you gift a kiss from a movie to your girlfriend.
Yeah, for example, that's
dude. It's really cool. I love the idea of like pairing the shots with like hair you can take into the metaverse, or like, you know, really anything that you could sort of piggyback off of the movie is such a cool concept, and like such a different way to like sort of think about movies. Curious, like zooming out a little bit, like I'm a huge fan of Run Lola Run, and I don't even like really watch a ton of movies, but I can see how this would like lend itself really well to what you're doing. how did you end up with like Run Lola Run? Is it difficult to like get, the rights to have movies participate in something like this? Are there certain like types or like styles of movies that, would lend itself more towards what you're doing? Or are you just trying to go like iconic type of stuff? Or how does that whole like process sort of work?
So our goal is to have a nice mix between iconic movies like IP that brings communities, but also like just great, really good cinema, great independent cinema, and also film classics. So Hollywood film classics and good independent cinema. And the vision of MovieShot is that long-term, this whole brand building and ecosystem building that we do will end up also in a way to finance films. So like we're having like great IP to bring in people, and then we're also like using our brand in somehow to help filmmakers get their film funded. I mean, there are a lot of trailblazers out there now doing that. Julie Pacino, Jordan Bain, Miguel Faust. So there is a lot of stuff happening now, and you should have them also on your podcast. It's really interesting.
Julie's been on the podcast. Julie's amazing.
He was, yeah.
I mean, only the possibility to sell your movie differently than in the cinema or as a DVD or to a streaming provider is already a reversed funding instrument. So I mean, we are not doing it with new movies at the moment or with independent movies, but in the end, it could well be already a reverse funding instrument because, when somebody gives funding to you and then they look at how you're gonna distribute it later on, and when you have NFT distribution with MovieShots, I mean that's great, I think. But the license thing, I think, Jan, this is a whole big thing that took forever.
Yeah, so the first thing, we completely think that NFTs will revolutionize crowdfunding completely, and so we will watch out what happens there and want to connect it to this as well. I think the challenge is like you give out the NFT to fund the movie, and then there is a lot of time between financing the movie and then basically finishing the movie, up to 1 or 2 years. So how do you what does the collector do in the meanwhile? This will be, I think, quite challenging. We will see many great ideas the next months. And so is it hard to get on those rights? Yes. Why is it hard? Because we need global rights. Because if you have an NFT, you can see it like in every country. So you need the global rights, and the licensing movie industry, it doesn't work that way. Usually you don't have global rights. You have like Europe or you have the US. So very often more than one company has to partner to get those global rights. And in case of Run Lola Run, that happened. So Beta Film GmbH is the company we talked to since, I think, March. So we talked to them, I think, for half a year or so, or 9 months until the deal was signed. But it was also quite hard to get the legal part, like get the legal structure connected to the token, connected to the law, connected to the tech. What exactly has to be in there was many hours with lawyers and quite some work, but we solved that. And of course, we wanted an iconic movie, and we're happy that we have one. Yeah.
So I'm actually kind of curious, like how the actual, like the sale or the distribution of the NFTs will work. Like what is the total edition count going to be? How many like unique stills are going to be tokenized? Like with using the example of Run Lola Run. I'm curious about all those moving parts.
Yeah. So with Run Lola Run, there will be 1,398 movie shots, each of them representing a unique part of the movie. So there will be 1,398 stills, and they will be stored on Arweave because we like permanence. And the drop will be interesting. The first idea was to basically have it randomized so that everyone who mints gets a chance. So it will be minted. You mint it yourself in your wallet. via our website, via the smart contract, which of course will be audited. And now we changed it from the randomization and we do it in order. So it will start with the first shot. I mean, not the first one, because we'll save some for the crew and cast. But it will start and then just go in order. And by minting, if you mint a shot, you are responsible that the story keeps being told on the blockchain, and everyone who mints works toward a collective goal, and that is that the whole movie gets told on the blockchain. And I think this will be very exciting. Like if there are like parts where the minting is slow, then we will probably talk more about that scene or so. And I think this will be funny because there will be forever a proof on the blockchain which where there was a fast mint or where there was like, when in Mario Kart you go into like this water and it gets slow, mint gets slowed down. And yes, so can the whole movie be told on the blockchain? And can we make it to the end credits? That's the collective goal. And you can mint up to 20 shots you can mint, and then you have mint again or so. And the pricing will probably be around €200, something like that. Dude, and it will be in ETH, of course, but now we can't say the ETH price because it will change until the mint.
Dude, I love the Mario Kart reference, but that is really interesting how like you can sort of like compare what's selling to like the parts of the movie and how that like creates its own narrative within itself. The whole thing is just like really, really fascinating. What do you guys like? Would be curious to hear if you guys could pick like any movie next that you wanted to move on to, like, forget all of like the requirements and licensing and everything. Like, what would be like your dream movie to like chop up and distribute in this way?
Yeah, I will start and I think every time I get asked this question, I will answer it differently because there are so many movies. Last time I said Ready Player One, and now I'm gonna say Fight Club.
Cool.
So for me, I take it not as the MovieShots perspective as I did. I do it the same way as I answer the question every time I get asked what's my favorite movie, and I say Donnie Darko because this is something that stayed with me forever. So yeah, I want this as a movie shot. It's not that probably that iconic or something, but it means a lot to me to have a shot with the the rabbit mask. Oh my god, wormhole.
You could build the rabbit costume, as a Metaverse variable, and then you see someone going around, and then you see he has this, and then you can click on it, and you see he has it from this moment. I mean, it's funny because then we have like a higher supply than one. But they will each be unique because in the 4-dimensional space, each one will be unique to that moment.
Oh my god, yeah. That's so true. So what's yours, Matthew Rizzle? What's yours?
For me, it would definitely be There Will Be Blood, starring Daniel Day-Lewis. I've watched the movie like 9-10 times. Can't get enough of it, to be honest.
No, nice. Dude, I would probably... I haven't watched many movies in a long time, but... Fight Club would be very high on my list just because I love how stylized it is and, sort of came up with that movie. So I'd probably lean into that. I'm also like a sucker for like old Disney movies, like the Aladdin era of Disney movies and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I'm sure you guys.
You want to fly with the carpet in the Decentraland.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I want my own like magic rug, I mean, it's cool. It's a cool project. I can tell like both of you are obviously like very passionate about it, just in like how you talk about the process and how you like to go about like all of these things. Is there anyone else doing anything like this out there, or have you like sort of taken inspiration from any other projects when creating this, or is this like totally like sort of on its own path?
That's the reason Jan did it, right? I mean, because nobody was doing it.
I was super paranoid for a couple of months. So, I mean, there are, of course, filmmakers who own their own IP and then do it as a piece of art, like how Jordan Bain did it, or especially artists, like filmmakers who do a short bit, like as you would be a super rare artist, like David Bianchi comes to mind, or Matteo, he's a director and a visual effects artist. Like he has these small pieces that work as a small piece of art. And I think with short movies, probably they are. I mean, it makes so sense to me. I think NFTs will make short movies, will have a renaissance in short movies, because that's quite obviously something you put on as a one-of-one NFT, and you make it, you sell it, and then you can maybe fund your feature movie or something like that, as Miguel does it. So we looked at other companies or project, and there's a lot of stuff happening now. And for owning a unique part of an iconic movie, feature movie, I didn't really see it a lot with shorts, of course. Kevin Smith, he sold his Kilroy movie and had even the production credit, I think, part of it. So if you buy the NFT, you literally own the movie. You are now the owner of the movie, and Kevin Smith will tour with you, promote the movie. So I think this was quite interesting. And I'm pretty sure there is stuff happening that I'm not aware of, because there's so much happening. But for now, like this, I didn't see it. And I think I assume that is because it's quite hard to get the global rights. It's quite time consuming. And also, there are so many exceptions. Like, there are so many exceptions why you can't do it. For example, we had a TV show that we could have done, and it was almost like already signed. And then it was, we realized there was one exception why you couldn't do it, because one actor just had like one line in the contract that you couldn't do it. So it's just a complex process that takes time. I think we will see it, if MovieShots is successful, we will of course see it more in the future. And I hope that films that are shot now think about how to have those rights. So they need to be bundled, right? They can't be scattered. And I think from now people just will know, like, okay, let's write something in that this can be done, and you don't need to ask five companies and have them all agree.
I mean, the crazy thing is there are even people that are only paid for knowing where the license is. I mean, they're kind of, okay, they know that thing, and that's their own IP. Like, you have to pay the money that they tell you where the license is. It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's such a racket. And like, as someone who's lived and traveled overseas, there's nothing more frustrating than trying to watch something and only being told that, hey, you're not in this country to view this. Of course, we have VPNs and we can get around it relatively easily, but it's just such an unnecessary friction, in my personal opinion. And if MovieShots can do anything to help make it easier to get these global rights for these broadcasts and for this cultural entertainment, like in cultural production, I think that's like a huge win, just that by itself. But I wanted to kind of like zoom out a little bit from MovieShots, because one of the great joys of mine is to be able to speak with so many like interesting builders and creators from all around the world. And obviously, you all being based in Austria and Europe, I'm just kind of curious, like, what's the state of crypto/NFTs in Europe? I mean, if you're on Twitter, I feel like everything skews, especially in the English language, a little bit more American or North American centric. What's going on in Western Europe?
So the latest thing that just happened was something from the Belvedere Museum with RTQ, and they did the Kiss of Gustav Klimt and split it into 10,000 pieces, selling it on the blockchain, but with no rights connected to the original. So this was happening, and it seems there's more and more popping off. But for me, for a long time, for me as an outsider, kind of, Cryptovina was the only Austrian project. But I'm totally wrong with that, and I guess Jan, or?
by the way, Nisle from CryptoWina probably was the first Austrian to put an NFT on the blockchain. Mm-hmm. I mean, until someone else comes along, but that's the latest stand. I don't think I can give an objective answer to that because I'm in my bubble here. And for me, like, okay, everybody's into NFTs and everyone understands NFTs in my world, but that's just me not leaving my room.
No, but that's definitely not what I'm seeing, and with the people I'm talking on daily shoots or something. I mean, nobody gets it.
Yeah, no, it's it's ridiculous how fast mass adoption works. I mean, at the very start, I mean, prices are high, but this is super early, right? People don't understand the technology, but what happened the last 12 months was ridiculously fast. Like social media, adapting it, Twitter connecting and making you verify the profile picture and all of that. So I think this was incredibly fast. There is a lot of interest from all of the creative industry, I guess. Like everybody wants to speak. You just ask someone about NFTs, like in this MovieShots context, and they're like, "Yeah, we have that and that." So they really want to learn. Like from all the professions, they know that NFTs are not going away, even if they're skeptical what is happening now, and they should be skeptical. And like personally talking to some people, I think one major thing is that a lot of people don't wrap their heads around, and I remember I was one of them, is this part that you own something, you own this JPEG, but everybody can see this JPEG kind of, right? And what it means, like just for emotional and artistic ownership, like you don't get the utility to show it exclusively. I mean, in the metaverse, you do, of course, you can show it off. But I think this is something that's quite new. And my assumption is quite bullish, I guess. I think in some years, this will be quite normal. Way, kind of like a social media, I guess. I think everybody will use it because it's an open standard. And just like the internet is an open standard and it changed the world in a way that we can't even imagine. I have the feeling that something with NFTs is happening right now as well, that we can't even imagine how it will change the world.
For example, if you go to IKEA in the future, IKEA up in the States? It's okay.
You watch Fight Club.
Oh yeah. So I could imagine, when in IKEA they have these paintings, these or photographs that you could pick up, these frames with the random photographs of anybody just to decorate your house with. I could imagine in IKEA in 10 years they had just digital frames that you buy that you hang up there and you connect your wallet and boom. So I could imagine a lot changing in the real world through the NFT integration. I mean, I don't see a big sense in the whole LG adapting that you can put your NFT on the TV. Okay, that sounds stupid, but if you have a frame that gives the optic of like Kindle Paperwhite, like optic of a material, digital. And
I think there are some companies offering stuff like that. Even permanent, where the digital screen can only show this NFT and you can't change it.
Oh, cool. I mean, I've seen these small screens, this small NFT things and the collectible things, but what I really want to see is like to hang a painting that really looks like a painting, but it's digital and it can be changed with what NFT you put on it.
Yeah, me too, man. I feel like we're so early, like you can see the direction it's headed in like the long run, but in terms of like what we have like right now to use as displays and everything, we're just like so early on in that kind of thing. This is probably like a good point. Like normally towards the end, we love to sort of shake down our guests and see what you guys got in your wallets or have been collecting or just like interested in on the side, like sort of outside of your specific project that you're working on. Clearly you guys are both down the rabbit hole and know this stuff inside out to be able to see like the big implications. What are some of your like favorite collections or things that you have, in your own possession?
I think I start because the answer is much more interesting. So I love the Meta key Jan gave me, and it's definitely something I could never give away because he gifted it to me, and I can never give it away, even if it's 20 ETH or something, unless he tells me to.
You can do what you want with it.
No, don't say that. Never. And so what I fell down was when time was entering the space. I was entering the space. It was like I was entering the space with Time magazine, and it was interesting to live alongside that. And so I tried to be on the first mint, and then they kind of fucked up because gas was I don't know. I think it was $15,000 or something, and you couldn't mint, and it was gone in seconds. But I let the transaction fail, and then they gifted these time cats pieces to every owner that had a failed transaction. And I was really happy about that, and I was like, oh my god, I really love this. And then this time cat became the minting pass, and then I minted the long neck lady timepiece from Nyla, who's a 12-year-old. I mean, you know her. Most definitely a 12-year-old artist who is amazing. And then I continued. I minted the Slice of Time. I burned it, and I got this rebirth from Julia Now. And I even got a single edition red border piece, and I was really proud of that. And for other things, I really love my crypto raster. I mean, I'm completely bullish on the crypto raster. So I love the
it's your face. It's your face.
Reggae community, and I even bought the sneakers. So I'm excited to get my crypto raster sneakers, and I love this integration that I could buy a piece of cloth, a shoe that I could wear, and nobody here in Austria will get it. And if you one more anecdote for comparing people knowing about NFTs here in Austria is like you all know Sound of Music, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I come from the city where Sound of Music mostly was shot, except for studio, of course. But I come from Salzburg, and every American is coming here to do the Sound of Music tour. But if you ask the people in Salzburg, it's like 90% of them have never seen this movie. And yeah, people can be quite. All I want to say is people can be quite ignorant and ignore things that are in front of the face, and for quite a long time. But someday they will catch up, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, your crypto raster is your face. Okay.
Yeah.
So for me, obviously, it's a lot of crypto wieners, and they are not in one wallet address because at that time I wasn't so tech savvy, I guess, and I was like, like with Bitcoin, yeah. Each time you receive something, you have to generate a new address. This is how I started in NFTs because I thought this would, remain privacy. Now I am like, shit. Now when I'm sending those NFTs, in the next bear market or so, when gas is low, I send it to my wallet now. Then I will just have doxed myself with all those other addresses. So I achieved the opposite. So there's something about Cryptowiener 99, Hedy Lamarr, drawn by Julie, that I completely FOMO'd into. And I don't know, would never give it away. It's in black and white as well. And it's a female Cryptowiener. It's quite rare. And it's very beautifully painted, of course, made. Then there is something about a piece of David Bianchi I have, because I wanted it at the giveaway. And this, just to remember that it was super exciting to own this one-of-one David Bianchi piece of Break the Bars. I bought a poster, which was in the higher supply. David also has one. And then he made a raffle, and one of the poster winners, which happened to be me, got the one-of-one. And somehow this is something that I really, really, really love. Then there's something about the clown avatar. It was minted by Pranksy, and also because I like on-chain. Like, it makes sense for me that, you know, like in 500 years when people are dead and aliens come, that there still lives art on the on-chain art, kind of like this whole on-chain thing. And there is a Don't Panic Pixel Chain, just a Pixel Chain NFT that just says Don't Panic, you know, like from the Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy. It has like this green monster. I just love that for some reason. I love it. And later I figured that it's there is a paper cut that this is based on. I realized it later on. So it's a one-of-one. And then last but not least, of course, my Chromie Squiggle, because buying the Chromie Squiggle was the start of my Degenhood. Mm-hmm. I remember I sold a marble card for 1 ETH. And I was like, that's what? Someone gave me an ETH for a Loki Marvel card. I was like, okay, now I can make it to fiat, or I can immediately spend it. If I don't spend it immediately, I will never buy a bigger NFT. So I immediately spent it and bought a Chromie Squiggle. And I remember feeling very weird that day. Like, I was like, nobody can know that I spent 1,000 euros on a red stroke. But now I think completely different about it. This is my Chromie Squiggle, and this won a contest made by Miguel Faust, where one's NFT will be a part of the movie, and one character will wear the NFT on a T-shirt. And now this Chromie Squiggle will be in Miguel's movie, which I think is an incredible idea of him. Like that, it's basically not product placement, but he uses his film and gives art a stage. And the artist, of course, like, is super happy that his NFT is, you know, now in another medium. It's so funny because when we started, we started a lot about like intertextuality and you know, all of this postmodern things. And now I have the feeling that this didn't even start yet, like what intertextuality means, like with NFTs. This is so...
I love that idea. And the fact that he held a contest for people and he chose your Chromie Squiggle that's going to appear in some shape, way, or fashion in that video. That's so cool. Like Rare Skrilla has created a few works like that where it incorporates other like NFTs that he owns, right, but are belonging to these like larger projects. So people are like, oh, I see another item that's part of this collection that I own a piece in too, and it creates this very strong affinity. And that intertextuality is just so effing fascinating to think about it.
Think your NFT would be in a people image, you know, like the the ape of Danny. I think Danny,
right?
Not the Party Legends Danny, the other one, Danny 3D, I think his name is. Has a pink. He has a pink ape, a bored ape, and it's part of a people image. And this obviously makes the artwork into another artwork,
right?
Like this whole social, cultural. I don't know, space.
It just weaves together this fabric that's been kind of rolling out over time. I mean, staying on Beeple, he did, what is it? Squared's Punk, right? After he had a couple like crazy secondary sales. I love seeing that. But to wrap this up real quick, so we don't go too much over time. I just want to make sure that we let folks know exactly where they can follow updates on MovieShots. And then, for example, if you have any spaces coming up, let people know where they can go kind of join in and listen and catch the latest updates on MovieShots.
All right. Thank you so much for having us. Yes, please go to movieshots.io, movieshots.io. We are on Twitter. Our handle is MovieShots with a capital M and a capital S, MovieShots with a capital M and a capital S. And our Discord is discord.io/film community. discord.io/film community. So please join the film community. We're starting regular spaces where we talk to people in the film NFT world. We will have our first spaces tomorrow. We will have Josephine here, who founded Female Filmmakers and also has her own academy for filmmakers. So this will be very exciting. Make sure to join us tomorrow. And the POAP will be awesome for this space. It will be an animated M, and on the reflection, you see Josephine's art, because MovieShots reflects other NFT projects.
Yeah, please join our community and help us grow, but also give us valuable feedback. I mean, yeah, we are in the beginning, and we really appreciate every feedback that we get, every suggestion that we get. We're not perfect, by far not, and yeah, we also need every help that we could get to make this as big as we imagine it to be. And for everybody who's wondering, we are really here for the long term. Also, yeah. Don't know what else to say. I really thank you for having us also from my side again. I mean,
one
nice
thing
talking to you.
One thing maybe, David, because you didn't mention it, but it defines you so much. Even before NFTs, you...
Oh, yeah.
You know, the network. Maybe in one sentence to say it, the people know who you are.
Yeah, because the most important thing for me always was to build a film community in Salzburg, and I quite successfully, I could say, did that. I helped a lot of people grow their own film businesses in the last couple of years, but also developed a big community that is stronger together and that really supports each other, and hosting regular meetings together where we could change about the industry, and I'm quite active about that. And so this was the main thing that fascinated me also from Jan's project, is that I could grow a global film community that's doing the same thing, kind of.
100%. But yeah, David, Jan, I just really want to thank both of you for jumping on the Matthew and Rizzle show, chatting with us about everything that we dove into. I really enjoyed this conversation. And like you said, I really hope to find myself in Europe and in Austria in particular sooner than later, and it'd be great to kind of gather together, grab a bunch of beers, a whole table, a whole restaurant full.
Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go.
And if anybody is in New York in July, beginning of July or something, we could also meet. I'm there for 1 week, but you're from Philly, and so you're probably not in New York, but I wanted to say that probably would.
Do it. Yeah, once again, both of you, thank you so much for your time, and just keep on creating and building these magnificent things that you're creating.
Thank you so much for having us.
You.
Thank you so much for giving us this. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, y'all. It was great.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this week's episode. Just want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Proof of Beauty. Proof of Beauty is an experimental digital experience studio. The blockchain is their canvas and the tokens are their brush. You can learn more about Proof of Beauty by checking out pob.studio. You can follow them on Twitter as well at PRRF Beauty. That's PRRF Beauty on Twitter, and pob.studio on their homepage to learn more about their projects like Hash, London, and Publico. Thank you, and see you in the next episode.